Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip our toes into the independent film universe so you don't have to. Will our panel agree with each other, or will they disagree with each other? I don't remember what was the last of the end part. Cram it. Well, it's something about us agreeing with each other, but then disagreeing, and then you, the audience, will you agree with us or not? I do know this part. I know I am Milo Dennison. I know I am joined by Claire Milan.
Hello.
And I am also joined by Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
Okay, today we are going to be looking at a stop motion live action style film called Rebooted. It's made by a writer and director named Michael Shanks. He's an Australian filmmaker. And imagine if you were a old stop motion actor, in this case a stop motion skeleton in the style of I don't know, what are Jason and the Argonauts, that old film, and you managed to survive into the modern world, and you're going to auditions, but you're not getting the parts you need anymore because now everything's done by CGI. And that is your life, and that is what this film is about. Guys, what'd you think?
It was I sat down earlier. I didn't know what to expect, but I thought it was amazing. Like, just the skill involved in creating this, and also the fact it is a silent film. You know, it's like a modern silent film, and even though there's no words, I think there's only one word in the whole thing. You feel so sad for this skeleton because he's going to these auditions, and all it is his line is just to roar, and he can't scare anymore. And it's if you think about the message they're trying to put across, is like these old stop motion characters have become redundant, you know, and it's all CGI now. But I thought I really enjoyed it. And then I actually came across behind the scenes of them making it, and for me that was fascinating, and it showed the scale involved. And I think the director, he wrote it as well, didn't he? He wrote and directed it. Is it Mark Shanks? Is it
Michael Shanks?
Michael Shanks, and he seems to be a bit of an actor as well, because he kind of acted in it.
Yeah, and he did music.
I couldn't believe it. So you know, I watched the film, and then when I saw behind the scenes, I thought, this guy he's Australian, but he's going to be massive. He kind of reminds me of what's that guy who did Jojo Rabbit, the director? You know, he won an Oscar.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but
Taika Waititi. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Yeah.
But just seeing him talk about making the film behind the scenes, he kind of reminds me of him. He had the same sense of humor, and this guy is so multi-talented to act, direct, write this amazing film, and you know, and then we see him composing the music. I was just blown away by it. So he's not in Hollywood or wherever at the moment. I think his guy's going to be massive, because the skill he has. He's like, you know, what's the guy's name again? Sorry, Jojo Rabbit.
Michael Shanks.
Michael Shanks. And who directed Jojo Rabbit again?
Oh, Taika Waititi.
Oh, good Waititi. But he reminds me of him, just the way he talks and his energy and stuff. So I can see this guy being massive in the future, and I really enjoyed the film as well, and it's a really, really lovely message.
Yeah, I was looking him up while you were talking there, and directorial credits, he's only got 5 credits to his name, an episode of a TV series, a couple TV series, and a couple short films, and that's it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, multi-talented guy. Like,
I just can't believe it. Like, Hollywood should snap this guy up and have him over there, because it's very rare to find a person like this who can create something that's such high quality and so fascinating and make you feel very emotive at the same time. He deserves to be massive in the future, you know. But it's quite interesting as well, because this was produced by YouTube, wasn't it? It said, I think it was produced at the start and also to YouTube.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Co-produced, was it? So I think.
Production company, let's see here. Production company, Latinite Films, whatever that is. That's all it says is the Latinite Films, which
Ah,
I'm guessing is his production company. So yeah, I'm not
okay,
sure
that's interesting.
what the deal was.
I think it was, you really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I did too. And I'm always impressed with stop motion. I'm not generally not a huge fan of stop motion, but I'm so impressed with people who do stop motion because of the patience. And in that behind the scene things that you said, they talked about how they spent 6 months just on the stop motion portion alone of the little character. And then for this, it's not just stop motion, it's mixed in with live action, which is amazing in the fact that they took a stop motion character, did all that work, did all the live action stuff, and then blended those together. It was just really, really nicely done.
I couldn't believe it. And it was funny because when you watch it and you do appreciate stop motion when you see it being made, like in the behind the scenes, there's one really brilliant scene in the film where it's no spoilers written, but there is a fire, you know, and it's so well done. And then when I saw behind the scenes and saw how they did that, and he showed him editing and he showed the layering. And for someone who's a novice at editing and trying to learn at the moment, to see him show that and how he created that, you know, in this editing program, it really blew me away.
Well, it is it's amazing film the way they put it together. Technically, it's superbly well done, but it's hard to find fault with it. Like, it was a nice story, you know, some nice visual gags in there. I don't know, but there's something about it that it didn't really.
Is it too heartwarming for your cold?
Well, it's not heartwarming either. Like,
Mhm.
there's a real sort of pathos about it. Very sad. And even at the end, that last scene on the bus, and you know, he managed to scare that young girl, and he kind of I
It's a
still
young
got.
boy, I think, because I remember reading underneath the comments on YouTube, and someone said, "Oh yeah, well, he scared the young girl," and someone said it's a boy, isn't it?
I thought it was a girl as well, actually.
Did you? I thought it
Yeah.
was a boy. Maybe, I don't know. The jury's out from that.
But like, it was almost, well, you know, okay, it was a little victory. He won the battle, but ultimately he lost the war. And I actually thought that scene was just a little bit incongruous, that they'd be playing with a skeleton like that, because they, you know, nowadays they wouldn't be, they'd be on a, you know, phone or playing with a computer. It was almost like it was sort of shoehorned in to kind of get that last scene. But
It's always funny. And I watched behind the scenes as well. He said there was actually a lot of dialogue in it originally, and so I think the skeleton had a lot of dialogue, but it just didn't work. So when they took all that out, it was like it's just amazing. I love seeing the stop motion or cartoons or anything like this with inanimate objects basically, and you feel so emotional for them and their journey they're on. So that's a real skill in itself.
Yeah, because as actors, we're able to do that with our voice, with our expressions, with our movements, and they're limited in this. I think the behind the scenes said the character had 11 expressions or 11 emotions with the replaceable faces. So to get so much of a story out of just 11 faces is kind of, with the body movement and the music as well.
I think I would nearly have preferred it if that sort of dream sequence wasn't a dream sequence. If it had actually happened like that, and maybe, you know,
That
they
would have
were
been the
arrested,
ending.
and then maybe they were thrown into jail, and then they were bailed out by, you know, Steven Spielberg or something like that. You know, yeah. But like, I don't know, like, you know, it was good. I mean, and it's hard. I watched it originally when you sent the link, and I watched it again, and it was just almost too perfect, you know, in a way. But I don't know, it's still on and all. Like, it was enjoyable. And actually, an interesting about the stop motion, they you mentioned Jason and the Argonauts, and it's almost, even though they said they used stop motion, there was something like it was almost too smooth in a way. And that's the problem with CGI as well. And I think when you look at those old videos with jerky movements, they almost look, you know, creepier. Like that kind of like sort of, you know, as I say, jerky movements than this sort of smooth sort of depiction of like bodily movements.
Yeah, well, because now you're right. Because what they do now is they take it and then they put that into a computer, and then they kind of, and smooth out the movements to whereas before it was on film, and so it's still just each frame of the film to give a little bit different of a look to it. Yeah.
But to think about the team involved in making this as well, like there are teams of people making these stop motion, because as you said, did it take 6 months to make this?
So I think the thing said 6 months just for the stop motion portions. So that's not counting the live action stuff and putting it all together. I'm pretty sure that's what it said. So yeah, that's a massive amount of time to make a film that's, what was it, 20 minutes long, 15 minutes long?
I think it's only 12, 13 minutes, wasn't it?
12 minutes long. Yeah, 12 minutes, 46 seconds.
I mean, there must have been quite a large budget for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, because this would, to take that much time and to have such a high quality product. It won like the AAC, blah, 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 whatever the Australian version of the Academy Award is. The AACTA, Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts. Best short film there, as well as a couple other.
What year was it? I mean, has it gone anywhere else?
2019, so last year.
So it's online quite soon. You think it would be in the festival sort of?
Yeah, that's kind of weird because when I looked at it and how recent it was, you think it was on the festival circuit, and it's so brilliant. Like I went to a lot of festivals last year, and I never came across this film. Do you know? And I look up brochures and stuff. So it was strange.
When was it posted?
March, so a couple months ago.
So maybe
that's why you see
coronavirus then.
Could be.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it came out in 2019. So it's obviously just come out now. But I think this Mark or Martin? Sorry, Mark.
Michael.
Michael, I'm sorry, Michael. But he's such a talented guy. I think this guy is going to be huge in the future. Yeah. Someone has to snap him up, and he has to start making animations for big, massive production companies.
Yeah, Disney.
This is why he's putting out Disney, Pixar. You really need to hire this guy and check him out, because if this is what he's producing, imagine the skill.
And even there's probably room for extending it. But it probably would have taken him another 6 months. They had restrictions there, but maybe I get this feeling that it was just unfulfilling or unsatisfying in some way. Yeah, it's just that sense about it.
So I wonder if the graphics or the stop motion wasn't as good with the same story. I wonder because obviously myself and Milo were blown away by the stop motion and the whole thing of it. But if it wasn't as good, would the film work? Would we be raving about it?
No, definitely not.
No. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here, like if I can find out what the budget was for it, but I don't see it listed on IMDb. Because it would be interesting to know how much they spent. Let's assume they had a decent budget.
Yeah, and you're talking about people. You're paying for people's skills in this film more.
Yeah.
More like obviously you're paying for materials to make all the little figurines. But I think it's more for this type of film. You'd spend on people's skills.
Yeah.
So they can make it.
Ratings?
Yeah, so I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 because I was really taken aback by the stop motion and the story was really good. So I get what you mean, Carl. So I'll take half a point off for that.
Yeah, I'll go 3.5.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's fine. I know you do. Like you almost always give something a half star. I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna give it a full 5 stars. Yeah, I see. I agree with you on the story, but I don't think that's enough to where it in my opinion deserves like dropping a half star. So take your own.
It probably does deserve more, but it's almost, like I said, it's just this kind of feeling it left me with, sort of like almost an empty feeling. I didn't feel it.
You didn't cry,
Maybe did it remind you of the emptiness already inside of you, Carl? And that's
I don't like that. I don't like seeing art my life reflected in art. So yeah.
Cool. Well, podcast listeners or YouTube watchers, as always, you can let us know what you think of the film. We'll throw a link in it. Check it out. We all think you should watch it and tell us what you think. Yeah, what was cool about that one is it just kind of randomly, you know how YouTube kind of throws up recommendations every once in a while?
Oh,
That's what
really?
it did. I was just kind of like on YouTube and it was like, showed this film and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. And then watched it and was like, hey, this is a perfect one for our, and it's my week to pick a film even better.